we got the new FIFA, whatever you call it, EAFC, which you're not because you lost the last.
I beat you 6-1,
and I beat you.
Say it to the camera. Say it online.
Oh, it's the apology.
We're live.
Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of the Fratelli di Rugby podcast. And this is part of our Inside Italy series, and I am delighted to be enjoyed by two very, very smiley faces in Tommy Allan and Seb Negri. Boys, you look okay. How are we? We all right?
Yeah, color coordinated as well. We had
Matchy.
Yeah. Yeah, all good. Had a nice off day today, so everybody recovered as much as possible. If you have a kid, you probably won't recover as much as the other boys, but it's been good for everybody going to Lyon, have a look around, get out of the hotel a bit. So it gets a bit tight when you're always in the hotel. So it's good to get out and about a bit.
I'm sure you can relate, Mike. Can you, with the kid situation? I can't yet. I'm not quite at that age.
Hey, I found out that there's a trap version of Baby Shark this morning in the car. So yeah.
Wow.
You better send it through, please. I need something a bit more upbeat. Yeah.
You got it, mate. You got it. It'll change your life.
I've heard which one is it? I think the Wheels on the Bus, like hip hop version, which is pretty good as well.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Send that one back. Yeah, I'll send one through. You send that one back. I'm on that.
I'm not sure if I'm ready for all of this.
I was going to say Parenthood sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Look, I think we should just address the elephant in the room very quickly. We won't dwell on it too much. I don't think any of us particularly do, least of all you two guys. But I think the first thing to ask is the mood in camp. Obviously, you've had a few days to sort of digest what happened, and has it been a case of mentally and physically trying to sort of take it easy after that? Because I can imagine on both aspects it was a testing evening on Friday.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I think I speak for Tommy too. I mean, we were all gutted after New Zealand. We let ourselves down. We were frustrated, and disappointed, and to be fair, maybe a bit embarrassed too, I guess. But I think, these things happen, whether it's in rugby and life. Sometimes you take hits and knocks, and it's how you respond, how you get back up, and that's been the message all week. I think, learn from it as quickly as possible, but dust ourselves off and move forward quickly. And I think the boys have, we've had a really good training week. The positive, it's been a lot of positive energy within the group. We've dusted ourselves off quickly, and we're looking forward to another big challenge this coming weekend. So yeah, we didn't dwell on it too much. Obviously we were all gutted. We're professional, and we experienced enough to know that things didn't go well, and we let ourselves down. We let you guys down, or all the fans. So we want to put those wrongs right, and there's no better way to do that against France.
I can't even remember what happened, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
What happened last Friday?
That's a good attitude. I like that. And I guess
we don't talk about
it. To be fair, I guess, Tommy, there is an aspect of that. You do have to ultimately, especially in a World Cup campaign, and especially given that this weekend on Friday night, we still can do what some of us were really hopeful we could do and qualify for a World Cup quarter final. That is still on the card. So ultimately, have to forget what happened last Friday.
Yeah, I think we're a bit guilty of maybe just focusing too much on the result last weekend and think, we could make the quarterfinals, and maybe that put a bit too much pressure on us. So this is, we're not going to make the same mistake this weekend. We're focusing a lot on ourselves, on our process, and how we prepare for the game. And then if you do that, then we'll have a good performance on Friday. And then if you have a good performance, maybe we can win. Like we won't want to focus on actually making the result. That puts too much pressure on us as a young group. We just want to focus on our performance, and if that happens, then we could win. We could win on the weekend, and hopefully we do. But we don't really want to think about just what happens next. It's more what happens like now.
It's the old cliche of just focusing on ourselves, performance, and whatever will be, will be. So I think that's been the message, this week. Yeah. And obviously Tommy's driven that. I've driven that. And yeah, I think it's important that we just learn from it. As Tommy said, it's a young group. There's going to be bumps in the road. But like you said, we got another big opportunity to perform this week, and we've put ourselves in that position. So let's embrace that. Let's embrace the challenge of France, and let's focus on our performance. And the result will take care of itself. But we got to do, as the old saying goes, we got to do A before B.
Sure. And Mike, I guess we're almost a little bit guilty ourselves here, as maybe did we push things too hard in terms of a narrative of could we do this? It's such a big game, and what first and foremost, I don't think anyone's doubting anything about letting anyone down, and there's no blame culture, especially with us as at this podcast and with you guys in there. I don't think any of us for one second doubt that you weren't hurting after the weekend. So I guess maybe for all of us, it's a little bit of a reality check, as maybe that we are coming up against some quality sides here. We're not coming up against any average Joes. We are playing arguably the two best sides in the world. So, there's a little bit of reality there, Mike, I guess, is there?
I think from my side, it's just, it's not about us being, not good enough to beat people, because I think actually if we play a perfect game and, there's a few things that go our way, we should be able to beat any side in the world. It's just if they play close to their perfect side, and, close to their perfect game, it's going to be a tough day. And, like the gent said, when you're looking at sort of the result instead of personal performance, and it's all about those like small goals that contribute to you guys actually winning in the end. Each person should have like a set little thing to do and set little goal that they want to achieve, and there's the aggregation of positives and negatives, which is something that we used to get coach, which is just if you make one mistake, you have to try and make up with two positive things, right? Yeah. That's what contributes to winning. But yeah, listen, like I'm never not going to back the boys, wrongly or rightly. I didn't go in saying, they're going to absolutely trounce the All Blacks, because I do have some sense. But like at the end of the day, you guys always have the opportunity and the ability to beat them. It's just a few things have to go your way, Yeah,
for sure.
And now you've got the hosts in Lyon on Friday night. Just gets easier, doesn't it? Just gets easier.
Well, at least this time we'll have 55,000 people cheering against us instead of 4 us.
Yeah. Back to normal then, I guess. Really.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And Tommy, I think we might have glazed over this a little bit, but you have created a little bit of history yourself, and I think congratulations are in order for becoming Italy's top point scorer at a World Cup. So, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It's only because I'm not kicking.
He's actually a pretty decent kicker, honestly.
And you're still 100% from the tee. I don't want to put any pressure on there. Friday. But...
I've heard. I've heard it from a lot of people now. Hopefully it doesn't get jinxed, but no, it's going well. I'm happy about it. I put a lot of work into it, so I'm happy it's coming into fruition a little bit, and hopefully I can score a few more points off the tee this weekend, which will help put pressure on the French as well. So we just got to take it like a proper test match. When the points are on offer, we take it and just build up the scoreboard as much as possible and get that crowd a bit more quiet, really, because they're going to be pumping.
I think that's it. I think that's it, isn't it, Seb? It's a case of, can we put some pressure on and create some nerves, create maybe a bit more of an intense atmosphere against the French, because it's going to be different.
100%, and to be fair, that starts up front, with us. So we know that. If you look back on all the games that we've played against France and the ones that we've been in the game, it's all started up front. So hopefully we can make, Tommy and the rest of the boys' lives a bit easier. But but yeah, I also just want to say, like, Tommy's been class, his kicking and the way he's playing. It's a credit to him how much he's been working on his game, and it's always good to know that someone can knock over the points. If you put a bit of pressure on the opposition. So, like I said, hopefully we can do that with the forwards, and then create a bit of pressure and just keep ticking over. Really,
he's just saying this for the cameras. It doesn't matter.
I was just going to say, Tommy, you look like you felt awkward listening to him talk about you so nicely.
I've never heard so many good things coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, well, I feel like being nice.
I think.
Oh my.
Sorry, just a quick one. So apart from obviously Seba, dropping the drop goals from 50, which other forwards are surprisingly good at kicking?
Me.
Who else is there? We had like a kicking competition a while back.
Is Canone all right?
No, he's horrible. No, both horrible. Ciccarelli's actually not bad, which surprised me. Pecco's not bad.
Whoa.
He had a goal kicking competition with World Rugby, and he actually started a few kicks.
I'll say I expect if the scoreboard allows it, right, I expect him to take a few if we're winning handsomely.
Yeah. No. Hopefully he gets to that, but we'll see.
And guys, how much has there been ahead of Friday? I don't want to dwell too much on ifs and maybes, but there is a potential that this is maybe Kieran's final game and maybe your guys' final game at this tournament. Again, that's very much a maybe, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it isn't. But how much? I think people are expecting there to be a very emotional response, but as well as that, is there a case of almost trying to take that away a little bit ahead of Friday for you guys? Has that been something you've talked about particularly?
Well, personally for me, it's extra motivation to perform for Kieran and to make sure that we put a performance in that we're proud of. Obviously for ourselves, for the fans, for our families, etc., but also for him. He's been an incredible coach not only over the last 2-3 years with Italy, but even when we're at Benetton together, and we've had some special memories. So it's been a privilege to play for him, and hopefully we can send them out on a high. But on the other side of it, we got to focus on our performance and make sure that we get our roles right and we execute our game plan to the best of our abilities. And not get too emotional about these certain things. But I know I speak on behalf of the boys that we do want to create and send Kieran off the best possible way. It's the least he deserves. So, I don't know.
No, 100%. No, you said everything.
Yeah.
Awesome. Gents, there are a few questions that have come through.
Oh God.
I'm scouring through. What's that? Sorry.
Has Varney sent one through?
No. He already rinsed you when we spoke to him about the trim, but it sounds like you got that sorted.
You got butchered today. I was like, went to a barber and Leon spoke no English, and he's been butchered.
Did skin fade get lost in translation? He's come out with some sort of mohawk. Because please to God,
it's just a high top and just.
He looks like a toilet brush.
Yeah, honestly. We always tell him, but he always goes for the same haircut every single time. But he's young; you'll
learn.
Right. So I'll start off with the one that we've been asking the boys that have been on, but we didn't actually get the opportunity to ask you guys. So we've set up a little bit of a Spotify playlist. I suppose hype music would be a good question. So, like, what sort of hype music do you guys listen to? When
this guy listens to the worst music.
If you think of like a 13 or 14-year-old teenage girl, that's probably
times it by 10, and that's
probably my playlist. I'll
I
actually
respect
send it to you guys because
it's horrible.
Yeah, I've been to some amazing concerts, even going back as far as Westlife. I went to watch them live. One Direction, JB, Yeah, I've been to a few of those. So yeah, just to enjoy those type of tunes. To be fair,
good on you. What about you, Tommy?
Who controls the
but
music?
you always play that.
No,
Tommy. Before
after a game, it's different. Before a game, I can't listen to
after a game, I'll be on tunes. But before a game, when we're roommates, you always play that one
Greatest Showman.
Yeah, you play the Greatest Showman, which is, to be
from
fair,
now on,
which is good.
That is I like that song as well. Actually,
that gets me in the zone. And that's when we know, like, it's game day. But there's also that one that you play that
She's a belter.
She's a belter.
Yeah.
Which I'm just like, Tommy, stop playing that. He plays it every single time.
Yeah, but before games, it's more hip hop, bit of techno, just to get me a bit more, G'd up.
Otto put a relatively serious one, and he was saying this one's for Tommy. So he was saying, in terms of like your performances under pressure, were his exact words, you've been sort of doing really well off tee, and like you're playing some of your best rugby. Like, how much of that is attributed to fatherhood and, you know, like trying to sort of create a legacy and burdening some of the responsibility from some of the other younger chaps in the squad?
Yeah, I think it's helped a lot. I've changed personally, obviously, after my son was born, and it's made me realize there's more important things and bigger pressures than actually going on a rugby field and playing the game you love. Really, at the end of the day, it's only a game, and you can only put as much pressure on yourself. But it's changed my mentality massively. And I feel like after that, I've started playing some of our best rugby. Obviously, that comes as well with playing a lot of games and having a lot of experience. So if you're a youngster and you're playing your first few games, obviously you're going to be feeling a lot more pressure than if you've played a lot more rugby games and you know what's going to happen on a rugby field. You can kind of play out in the back of your head what's going to happen when you get more experienced. But 100%, it's helped me so much. Just mentally, it's a game changer, and I feel like I'm honestly playing the best rugby at the moment that I've played.
Yeah, long may it continue, mate. I think everyone agrees with that. And another one from Otto for you, Seba, this time. So fans generally say sort of the breakdown is an area where the Italian sides of old have struggled. Obviously, there's a bit of a change in tide now, and we're starting to see sort of you guys plus some of the younger guys come through, and you know we're doing, certainly age grade as well, doing a lot more at the breakdown. Is that something that you guys have started to see seep through as well now? But
I think we got some really good guys that play with us that are really good at the breakdown, but I think it's also an area that we can improve on as a team. In terms of making sure we got clean, quick ball. I think it's actually, we've been struggling a bit in the last few games. If you see how many turnovers we've conceded, and it's frustrating, especially when it happens on first phase. So it's definitely an area that we need to work on. And I think it's just being about being a bit more physical in those areas and making sure that we got the right numbers and people know their roles in those breakdowns. So yes, we've got our own threats that can disrupt ball, but I think it's also definitely an area that we need to work on as a team, and we have been this week, and it's definitely something that we want to take into France, because it's going to be a massive area, especially when you play against tier 1 teams. They're going to try and slow your ball down and make it a shit fight. So it's definitely a big talking point for us.
And this isn't a question that was asked, but just from what you've said, how much are you expecting like France to try and sort of really stifle at the breakdown? Because obviously we know we're successful off quick ball. Do you think they're gonna dirty it as much as possible, lie on the wrong side, do all of the dark arts?
No, for sure. We've talked about it. They're going to try and disrupt But I think every team tries to disrupt our ball when they play against us. If you look back, even Namibia, Uruguay, they had a very good six that played against us. Obviously New Zealand, but when you come across these top teams, they've got guys across the whole field that can disrupt your ball. So we got to make sure that we're onto it, that we anticipate the ball carrier, that we're physical, and that we win the race to the breakdown. So yeah, it's a big area for us.
Appreciate it. Mark, do you have a couple? Because I've got some funny ones, but I'm happy to leave those to the end.
Have I got any off the top of my head? Not really. I was going to ask, my next sort of place to go with it was more this World Cup in general, because obviously rugby and your careers will ultimately are short in the grand scheme of things, in comparison to life in general. How much will you have taken from this World Cup experience? What's it been like sort of to live in it and to experience it, France in general? How much have you enjoyed sort of being there?
Yeah, I think it's been very well organized by the French. You see fans everywhere. Everybody's just supportive. Everybody's just in the rugby mood. It's like a big party. The stadiums have always been sold out pretty much every game, even if it's not the biggest games. You always see there's going to be a lot of people there. Everybody's happy. I love the beginning of the game we had against New Zealand with the packed out stadium at night and all the phone lights waving around. It's incredible. We've been a little bit unlucky where we're based. We're a bit in the middle of nowhere, so it's tough for us to get out too much and experience everything. But we had 5 days in Nice, and that was nice because you can see how much everybody's behind the World Cup, and in France especially, you've got incredible supporters, and it makes it even better when the whole country's behind it and everybody's just helping out. They see you in the shops and stuff. Oh, you play for Italy, and then it's cool. It's awesome, and it's an incredible experience. That's why it only happens once every 4 years, and it has to be special because it could be the only World Cup for a lot of players, and hopefully they can make the most of it, really.
And how many have you been able to watch many of the games? Sort of just generally speaking,
every game.
Have you? Because I was gonna ask what game you enjoyed the most to watch.
Fiji
Wales.
Fiji,
even though
Wales.
We were obviously rooting for Fiji because they were playing incredible. We were at the edge of our seats after the last minute. We were like screaming and shouting at the TV. It was crazy. And then obviously the usuals, like the first game, obviously France, New Zealand, and South Africa, Ireland. That was probably one of the best ones as well. And it's only going to get better from here. Honestly, there's going to be incredible games coming up. There's quite a few like decisive games this weekend, so that'll be ours, one of them. But there'll be a few more. So it adds to the atmosphere, adds to the show, really.
So a couple of people have asked for a bit of an update on the whole gaming situation. Are you guys been playing sort of the PGA? Who's been taking away the dubs?
Every night. You're talking to the champ at the moment.
In real life, I'm good at golf. PGA on PlayStation, I've been struggling a bit.
It's just a swing path, mate.
My swing path, with the analog, I don't know what's going on. I always slip off.
And we got the new FIFA, whatever you call it, EAFC, which you're not, because you lost the last game.
I beat you 6-1,
and I beat you.
Say to the camera, say online.
It's the apology.
No, it's not the apology.
No, it's Varney.
I beat Varney 5-0 twice, and he hasn't even put the apology out.
I did batter Tommy 6-1, but it's always a good game, to be fair, between us. And then Varney, most of the time, loses. And every time he does win, he's got his phone out as if he wins all the time.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Did you see that the other day?
He always does it. But then we got a PlayStation in the team room as well. A lot of boys have been playing Call of Duty, Zombies, UFC as well, just to let out some steam, which has been good. So we enjoy ourselves as much as we can when we're off a little bit.
Good. And 2-5 nils in a row is a moon pig, right? So get him to send you a card, right?
Yeah, I don't really want that, so I'll let that pass.
So one question from me. Have you guys been doing any of the fantasy league this year? Have you? What are the points situation looking? Did you guys know?
You were doing well, and now you've gone down a bit.
I think I'm 5th at the moment. I was 2nd because I put Peno as triple captain for the game against Namibia, and he had an outstanding game.
I did that.
I had Seba for the first game, but then I had to kind of take him out of my team.
You have a little talk with him afterwards.
It wasn't a good start. I actually took myself off my team.
Who was it? I think it was.
The last two have been all right. So hopefully this week I can improve. But it was, I also had a shocker. Because I thought it worked. I didn't read the rules properly, and I thought it worked like Fantasy Premier League. So you can't make so many transfers and things.
Yeah.
So I ended up putting like Barrett in, who wasn't even playing the first game. So I got off to a stinker, but I've actually pulled back a bit. And we won't even talk about one or two of the boys putting all black players in against us.
Oh no!
We won't name names. One of them was also made captain in this fantasy.
He's captain one of the boys that played against us.
Oh wow!
Yeah. He's been dealt with.
Yeah, he's been dealt with.
Right, is a player that
there's been an internal investigation.
I'm gonna say,
Matt Jackson.
Oh, I'd love to have been at that court, wouldn't you? Like that man
he wasn't playing, so he might have been pissed off. That's why he did it. He wasn't playing.
I had Graham as captain this gone week, and he scored some mad points. So I'm slowly coming.
Yeah, well done, Darcy Graham. I had
Darcy
him as captain. I think most of the team here had him as captain, so it doesn't even make a difference to anyone.
Yeah, it's just pulled away from me.
I captained the wrong Scottish winger. I captained the one on the other side. Big mistake.
Carl Stone.
Need to follow your rugby a bit more.
Yeah, sure. Because Dave Ceci talked up a massive game before the tournament. He said he was going to win the lot. Is he top?
Let me check.
Check the standings, but you said he did mention that he's struggling in the fantasy.
I think Dino Lamb just did the first one, then he just gave up on it. I think he's sitting at like a 200 point.
Yeah, Dino
doesn't even look at it.
Who's the highest point scorer?
I don't want to say the highest point is.
Oh no, I mean the points as opposed to point score. I just want to compare notes.
3,082.
I wasn't even playing, so.
3,082. Let's see where Dave.
I'm mid-table. I'm happy with that. Mid-table is fine.
Mid-table, sorry.
I don't think Dave's doing it with us. Fridge. He's 9.
Oh, I'm almost beating Dave behind him.
Oof. Yeah, I think I'm 2-6 or something. So yeah, not near the top, sadly. But
I need to find a defensive king for this weekend, son. I don't know who to pick.
I'll put Jack Morgan.
Yeah,
defensive king. Jack Morgan's always a take.
I've been as long as I beat Otto, that's sort of my benchmark for me, mate. As long as we beat Otto, it's a dub for us.
I was kind of intrigued now as to which Italian is the highest point scorer.
Do you want to
have a guess?
I'll give you 3
guesses.
Let's ask us a question. We'll say yes or no.
You go first. I reckon it's someone Norby. I reckon I know.
You can ask us 5 questions and you can pick the player.
Okay.
I will answer yes or no.
Okay. Are they a winger?
No.
Are they under 25?
Don't know. Yeah, they are.
No, they're not.
No?
I think he's.
All right, so they're around about 25.
Yeah,
around 25.
Around 25.
That's 2.
Not much.
Are they a back row?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I know. I think I've got it, but we'll ride out the 5 questions anyway.
All right. Does he? Oh, but they all play. All of you boys play for Benetton.
Yeah. I just asked the other questions you not play for.
Yeah. I mean, let's say I don't
fuck
actually know.
it. It's Lorenzo, isn't it? Is it Lorenzo?
No.
I was going to say,
Oh,
one more guess.
well, I thought it was captain, and that's why, like, I reckon he analyzes like everything. I thought it was going to be someone super noisy, like Lamaro. Is it Lamaro?
Is it?
Yeah. Michelle.
All right, Michelle, mate, I get that all the. So I'll make you boys laugh, right? So I work for an American. Mate, I get it all the time.
That's what I call him. I call him Michelle.
Yeah, but I work for like an American company, right? And when I call up some of the people, like they'll set up a meeting, I'll call them up, and obviously they're expecting some exotic woman called Michele Petretta, like they're expecting it, and then you just see these, like, you just see their faces drop when they see this guy with a beard.
Yeah,
They're like, oh yeah, Michelle. I was expecting a woman. I'm like, yeah, I can tell.
She's got a lot of facial hair, isn't she? Wow.
Oh,
I've had it. I've been called Marcello all my life, and that drives me insane.
It's
fucking awful.
I mean, I have a couple of other questions, but I can't really, don't really fancy him, to be honest. So
don't really fancy him.
Don't really fancy the ones that were sent in there.
What game did Michele do so well in? Was it?
It was the
one.
No, I think it was
the Uruguay game.
So no, he jumped up when I think me and him put Peno as triple captain against Namibia.
Oh, right.
But then he had a few more good picks that round, and he just shot up in the league. Because before he was like in the mid table. He had a few good picks there, and then it just it went from there. And then now he's playing the defensive game.
It's a bit noisy, isn't
it? Yeah, he is.
So we've got mixed up here. I was thinking, who is the Italian with the most points, as in actually the player on your squad has the most points on fantasy, not necessarily the fantasy.
Oh no, I thought I thought who was top.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know. I would say Tommy or Monty.
Yeah, Tommy's up there.
And I put Angel
gave me like
I put I'm taking him out.
You're ruthless, Coach Seb.
Either Monty or myself.
I think I've left Lorenzo in there the whole time. Actually,
I think you and Monty.
Yeah. Monty had like 50 points this game against the All Blacks. I think I only had like 20 something.
Yeah.
So maybe he was overtaken.
Let's not talk about the All Blacks.
Well, that didn't happen, did it?
Didn't happen.
What game?
Okay.
So yeah, from me, gents, like, listen, just great having you on as always. So appreciate it.
Yeah. Really appreciate it, boys. I think it could have been easy. Could have been easy to speak to people who'd have been a bit down in the dumps and not really willing to talk about it. So I do appreciate your honesty.
That's not us, man.
These things, like we talked about all week, Tommy will agree. These things happen. These things are going to happen, and they will happen again in the future. I mean, hopefully not
like that.
Hopefully not like that. But
yeah,
there's going to be ups. There's going to be ups and downs, and it's important as a team, as everyone, that we're all in this together, and that we bounce back and we stick together. So that's been the message, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to stick together and hopefully bounce back and put in a performance that we're proud of.
Perfect place to end, I think. Well, blokes, thank you so much for joining us, and everyone else, thank you very much. It's such a lovely. You need to screenshot that.
That should be the profile.
Yeah, it should. Yeah,
the header on the podcast.
Yeah, it can be our cover photo on Twitter. Anyway, Jake, thank you so much, and I think on behalf of everyone, any Italian fan, we wish you all the very best on Friday. We'll all be supporting you no matter what, and we're backing you to bounce back in whatever fashion that might be. We're all incredibly proud anyway, so we look forward to watching you go give France some hell on Friday. That's what we're all hoping for. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we will talk to you again soon.
Tommy has to go and massage my back.
Cheers, guys.